Go for it, Paul.
Okay. Testing, testing. Today on Quality Time with Family Ties, we learn to always say I'm sorry. All right, let me do one more.
Yeah, get a
Today
little
on
thicker with the Canadian accent.
yeah. Uh, Today on Quality Time with Family Ties, we learn you should always say you're sorry.
3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody! Welcome to Quality Time with Family Ties. I am one of your hosts, Scott Jones, and joining us as usual, Paul Packler. Paul, what's going on up in New York?
Not too much. I'm looking at my face in the camera right now on the Google Hangout, and I'm terrified that I'm beginning to look old. Do you guys think I'm looking old?
My
No!
camera's not that good. It doesn't really give you details.
Right. I mean, this isn't high def.
Where do you
Yeah.
see? Do you see age lines?
No, not even age. Just like my skin is fallow, or I don't know.
Well,
Could have
I
been
mean,
the night you had last night.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
could have been. And remember, this is a podcast too, Paul. So I mean, we can have the magic of radio, where we can paint in the minds of our listeners a young, puckish Paul Packler.
All
I
right,
remember
that's
young
good.
puckish Paul Packler, don't you?
I do.
I remember it too. That's why this is so shocking to me.
and
Anyway.
and joining us, who's back, Corey Pepper. Corey, we missed you last week.
I certainly missed being with you guys and talking about Tom Hanks' second episode because it's so much better than the episode we're about to review.
Absolutely.
Good Lord.
I know. Wow. Because, when I look for a good sitcom, I mean, the topic I think of first is deep, deep thoughts on the stock market.
Stock market's always hilarious.
Yeah.
So much fodder for comedy. Absolutely.
Well, I mean, that Wall Street 2 that Oliver Stone made was pretty funny.
Unintentionally.
Yeah.
Right. Because we all wanted a sequel to Wall Street, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
We were in the
Wolf of Wall Street was pretty good, though. Did you guys like that?
I've never seen it.
Wolf of Wall Street? I liked it. I thought it was a little long. I thought at some point I just was like, I don't care about these people anymore. They're all kind of disgusting, and it didn't really have anything at the end for me. I thought the first half was really good. I thought the acting was good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The acting's great. Yeah, it's there's some issues with it, but like Margot Robbie, Corey, the woman who plays his wife, I tweeted about her for a week straight. She was that gorgeous. Yeah.
Does she take her clothes off?
Oh, she does.
Oh, yes, she does.
Is she the one who has cocaine snorted off of her ass?
Yes.
I've heard all about that.
Yeah. Right. And I think that's another disappointing thing about this episode. A lot of talk about Wall Street and the stock market. No snorting of cocaine off hookers' asses.
No, that's
and
terrible.
no Margot Robbie.
And no Margot Robbie. I don't think she was born at this point. I think she was... So, guys, if you're following along on Netflix, we are on Season 1, Episode 16, the title called Margin of Error. Margin of Error. And it starts off at the Keaton household, and they're all sitting around the breakfast table like they do. And the first thing is there's reference to Jennifer playing field hockey, and the first thing I wrote down is, how many freaking sports does this kid play? It seems like every week she's playing a new sport.
Because the only character trait they have for her is tomboy. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's as far as they get. If at its most successful, Family Ties puts her in some a jumper and gives her a baseball glove and a bat, and that's as far as characterization goes.
Right, and it's like next week a soccer ball, next week a hockey puck, anyway. I really want to see her come in with like a fencing sword. That'd be great.
Yeah, like she starts getting into curling, and then they could make like a sly little allusion to Michael J. Fox's accent. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd just be an ongoing thing. How many sports can we give Jennifer?
Yeah.
But they're sitting around the breakfast table, and Alex is reading the stock trades, and he's doing this project for school, picking stocks, and he's like Alex P. Keaton would be, really good at it. And he's really kind of wanting to do it for real. He's trying to convince his dad that, hey, I had this great feeling about this one stock. You should really invest in it, Dad, and I'm really good at it. In fact, who's the banker that he's been giving tips to, or the trader that he's giving tips to?
What, later in the episode?
Dan.
Yeah. He's given he's given a broker a tip, and the guy's been making a fortune off of Alex's tips. He's doing really good because of Alex. Mm-hmm. So he's encouraging his dad to, hey, why don't you invest some money in this tip I got? We could split it.
Oh, he's like, Dad, the Dow is at 1,000. It's amazing. Like, the Dow I just looked as we were talking is at 18,000 right now.
Yeah,
so,
that's in 30 years. It's gone up to 18,000.
Yeah.
And again, the way they're talking about this for a sitcom is pretty detailed for a sitcom, talking about the stock market. I think if you put this on today, you're losing the audience almost instantly.
Absolutely, nobody cares.
Yeah.
No one cares. Yeah. So. And
just wait until I start getting really into it when in this discussion, and we our audience.
Now, I don't know when I turned into Joan Rivers and this turned into Fashion Police, but can we talk, boys?
Let's please talk about the costumes.
In this first scene, Jennifer and Mallory are both wearing mom jeans, and they're both children. I don't know why they're wearing mom jeans.
Well, high-waisted jeans was until like the late '90s, I would say. You know, we watched those old Seinfeld episodes, and my God.
Oh
they
yeah.
Just look like the jeans that you see on a 31, 32-year-old woman who has a stroller in front of her, and it's like they're half jeans, half chastity belt, because they ensure them that no man would ever do them.
Let me just say this, though. On the other side of it, I literally wrote down Michael J. Fox and Justine Bateman's hair are gorgeous. I wrote that.
They had like a feathered look. Both of them had this like a Brazilian blowout on both of them. They were beautiful.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't even look at the jeans, because I was just enamored with their hair.
With the hair. We come to find that Steven hates the stock market. He has gotten burned by the stock market. They never really explain how.
Yeah, or when, or what.
I mean, it's easy to believe that Steven would not be good at the stock market.
Right.
I can just picture the investments that he would try for, and they would all be horrible.
Oh, it'll be very green stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right. He's investing in the Peace Corps. That doesn't make a profit. Yeah.
It's a government. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So he's totally against this, and the only thing he's ever going to hold on to are these is the stocks that he has in AT&T,
right. Which
Alex says he should use as collateral. Right. What would AT&T be like worth today? Like if he had it in the 80s.
Oh,
it would
God, I have no idea.
It could be a pretty lucrative stock.
I guess it would be very lucrative because AT&T has just been acquiring things over the last 30 years and becoming more valuable.
Yeah. So, spoiler.
It was a blue chip. You know, he was safe. He was like a conservative investor in the stock market. And Alex has this, you know, it's called Secundo Tin that he wants to buy shares of that he can like parlay the money that Steven's made on AT&T in order to get this Secundo Tin, which is a much more volatile stock, but he thinks it has a great future in front of it. It'll be, it'll make money. It's very cheap, and then if it makes $5, that's huge.
Yeah. Have you guys ever had stock at all? Like.
Yeah.
The only stock I have is Disney stock.
Really?
Me too.
Really?
I had Disney. I would say probably the last 5 or 6 years I worked there, took 10% out and invest and use to buy Disney stock. And I was just going to say, you're saying what would it be worth? All I can tell you is 10 years ago, I bought Disney stock while I was working for them between $30 and $40. 10 years have gone by. This week they were at $109 a share.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Good investment. Yeah.
Which I knew Disney is a stock that usually just goes up.
Exactly.
And they've acquired a lot.
AT&T would be very close to that. You know, Apple, Google, you know, a lot of those, the Dow Jones Industrials, those stocks are almost assured of going up almost all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what this episode's all about, is the type of investor you want to be. And Alex is sort of embodying the day trader, really fast turnover of what you're investing in that day in order to make more money. And it's very, that's, you know, the hoi polloi would do on Wall Street in the 80s. That's when you watch movies, that's what they're doing, is day trading for the most part. And then what you're talking about, Corey, what I do, because I have the same thing. My dad got a Disney stock when I was a baby type thing, and I've just held on to it for 30 years. It's
like a savings account.
Exactly. So,
I had Coca-Cola.
That's what this whole episode's about.
You have Coca-Cola, says the Atlanta boy?
My grandfather bought me, like when I was probably 12 or 13, one of his gifts to me was stock in Coca-Cola, like one share. Yeah. It just kind of stayed the same. I think I sold it. I was like, I don't want to worry about this. I would get like small little 2-cent checks or so. I was like, just sell it. Yeah. But Alex feels really good about Secundo 10, and so he decides, he calls up the broker.
After everyone leaves the kitchen.
Right. He calls up the broker, pretending to be Steven. Now, we have talked about how Gary David Goldberg has been able to see the future for Michael J. Fox's career. So, I'm going to throw it to you. Michael J. Fox pretending to be someone else to advance his career, to advance and make money. What does that ring to you, Paul?
Oh my God, I didn't even put that together. It's the secret of my success.
Yes! Yes! It's there. Gary David Goldberg is a soothsayer.
If he has sex with his aunt through marriage, then it's, you know, we'll have to find out further into the episode if that happens. Then it is a lock.
Absolutely. And Jennifer catches him. Jennifer catches him doing this and kind of becomes his cohort with this scheme. Because
she runs in and she's like, it's plagiarism. And I'm like, just another reason that she's an idiot. It's fraud, Jennifer. It's fraud.
Yeah. Jennifer always seems to be spying for plot purposes. To give her an involvement in the plot. Because you could so easily take her out of it. She's really not crucial, but she's always spying so that she could be involved in the plot in some way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just like all little sisters. They're not needed. And then they just are always underfoot.
Absolutely. And to my argument, like, so... Alex explains to her, like, look, this is going to be a great surprise for Mom and Dad for their anniversary because I'm going to invest in this stock. It's going to go up, and I'll have a big fat check to give them by the time their anniversary comes around, and they're going to love it. So Jennifer is now on board as kind of his cohort.
The whole thing lacks common sense to me. The whole thing lacks common sense. It's like, really... First of all, what child really needs to give their parents a couple of $1,000 for an anniversary present? It's their anniversary. It's not. Children do not necessarily have to celebrate a parent's happy anniversary and a card. That's fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
But instead, Alex wants to give him a check for a couple grand.
You know what? I feel like that is that Alex is actually doing like the Walter White in Breaking Bad thing. He doesn't care about the giving them money as a reward.
No. Yeah, that's very true. And at no point do you believe that he really cares about the gift. He really is.
Yeah, it's just rationalization.
Yeah, he's an adrenaline junkie for the stock market.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we cut to, okay, so Jennifer's now on board. This is what Alex is doing now. And now we cut to what seems to be the next day is Alex is like in full day trader mode in the kitchen. And shifting around deals, investing in stocks. I mean, he is in full Wall Street mode.
Elise comes back from jogging as he's doing all this, and after a good jog, you know, just like all of us do, she reaches into the fridge to get orange juice.
There we go. Thank you.
Orange juice.
I now have a shorthand that I write down. I write OJ and GJ, grapefruit juice and orange juice. I don't know why. I notice what they're wearing and what they're drinking. That's all I care about.
Well, speaking of which, Corey, did you check out Meredith actually burning those sweats?
Oh, yes, I certainly did check her
I wrote
out.
that down.
She looked fine.
And so Alex lies to Elise about this, saying that it is still part of the school project that he's doing and how great he's doing at it. And he wants to invest in this stock for VIP.
Yeah, but what is it? Video Industries of the Philippines.
Ah, yes.
Sounds like a
money.
winner from way
Sure
back.
does sound like money to me. Anything
Yeah.
in the industry sounds pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about Video Industries of the Philippines. There's a future
No.
there.
Yeah, when they raise the building and and then put a parking lot there, it'll be just a moneymaker.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
hands down. Hands down.
But yeah, like Jennifer's there, Steven's there, and Steven is discussing what he's buying, and then Jennifer. Wait, is this when everyone leaves and then Jennifer is talking about how much money he's already made?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
he's taken the original $500 from the AT&T stock and turned it into $10,000 in what we think is what, an evening?
An evening. It seems like it's less than 24 hours.
Yeah. He's just that good, Paul. That's
Yeah.
how good he is.
Well, it's a skill. That's what he learned from Uncle Ned.
Absolutely. That's true. That's true.
This is a scene where Mallory throws a barb at Alex at one point, and I noticed it in the next episode as well. She has problems keeping a straight face sometimes when she's zinging Michael J. Fox.
Oh.
She got that little Jerry Seinfeld look on her face of like, this is going to be funny. And
here it comes.
Keep the straight face, Justine. It would be a lot better for you if you could just keep it straight.
Yeah.
But she's so cute, I cut her slack.
What's that?
She's so cute, I cut her a lot of slack.
What was the joke that she said? Do you remember?
I don't remember the zing. It was just I just wrote down zing to Alex.
Yeah.
It was some zing. Maybe a short joke.
And if we're talking about little, probably a short joke. And it's also, we hear Michael J. Fox's Canadian accent come out again. Like, you could almost do a drinking game to this because he says sorry so much in this episode.
It's funny because sometimes it's gone and then sometimes it's there. It's I don't know why he, and even nowadays he doesn't say sorry anymore, does he?
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I think he may have just not settled into it just yet. He got a little too comfortable and that accent comes out.
This scene also ended with Mallory was exercising with Jennifer at some point during the scene.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And then she had the perfect post-workout food, ice cream. At the end of the scene, she was eating ice cream.
Who's that, Jennifer or Mallory?
It was Mallory who was eating ice cream at the end of the scene.
Damn it. I thought it was another reason to hate Jennifer.
No,
you idiot.
Plenty of those.
There'll be more, Paul. Don't worry. There'll be plenty more reasons to hate Jennifer.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, like, here's what I've noticed. How much more interesting would this episode be if they flip-flopped Jennifer and Mallory? If Mallory was in on what Alex was doing more so, I think it would be a much more interesting episode. There'd be more dynamic.
There's more conflict between Alex and Mallory than there is between Alex and Jennifer. Mallory could hold something over his head, whereas Jennifer, it's very, very benign.
Right, exactly. And just use Jennifer for the cutesy moments of just these one-liners and get her out of there. It'd be much more interesting.
And the B plot in this show is Elise's design. Is that what the B plot is?
Oh, yeah, the chapel. Elise is designing a chapel for all different religions.
And a university.
Yes. I don't get that. It's a chapel that every single religion is going to use.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
It's just, like the rest of this episode, it's confounding and ultimately boring, and you're like, well, you've wasted my time, and the church, I feel, is symbolic of that. It's like, well, we've just spent an hour on this Sunday, and I guess
nothing really happened from it.
Yeah.
When's the last time you were in a church, Paul?
A friend's wedding this past September.
And before that, would it have been a wedding or a funeral or a christening?
Yeah, definitely a wedding. Yeah. I mean,
you're not even a Christmas, Easter kind of guy?
Oh, please, no! I'm the worst. Like,
Paul's at home.
When was the last time you were in a church?
Me? I'm Christmas, Easter these days, for the most part. If I'm at, well, not even Easter, probably Christmas, because I'm usually back at home, and my parents are very big churchgoers. So
do you do Christmas Eve in church, or do you do Christmas Day
Eve? Yeah, Christmas Eve. No, we never went to church on Christmas Day.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only time I've ever been in a church, not for a wedding, funeral, christening, would have been on a Christmas Eve. I think that I had a girlfriend once. And she was singing in Christmas Eve services, and that's when I went to church. The only time, once.
It's the best time to go.
Which is as many times I've been in temple, by the way. Once.
Well, see, I mean,
based on this conversation, I actually just started reading Reza Aslan's book, Zealot. It came out like a year ago. It's really good. It's so good. I highly recommend it.
Maybe we can get them to sponsor the show, like them and Pornhub. Both of them can sponsor the show.
Pornhub, we still have not heard from you. Please email us.
Yeah.
So Alex goes down to the brokerage.
The broker.
The broker. And he's kind of checking out what the guy's doing on his computer, and he's like, oh, man, this stock's gone up. That's great. That's fantastic. He's like, yeah, Alex. Because of your tips, I'm making some good money. Thanks a lot. And he's very excited because Stephen and Elise are going to be coming down, and he is going to present them with a check. But we come to find out, VIP, not so VIP.
Yeah. I should have come up with a funny pun.
That's the best I can come up with because this episode was so boring.
Yeah. See, that's it. Yeah. It's like at the end of the episode when it's like, oh, we should have had an ending, and then they don't. That's sort of how this joke goes, is there should be a joke here, but I don't have one.
No. And, basically there was a hurricane or a tsunami or something that hit the
typhoon, I believe.
Wiped out everything. Typhoon, and it's completely destroyed, so the stock plummeted. But all Alex has to do is come up with $2,700 to meet the margin. Which, again, is talking really deep into the stock market that most people aren't going to get.
Yeah.
It became almost instructive about the stock market, and it stopped being a comedy.
Yeah, it was like a...
They had to explain to us about stocks.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It was like a teaching video that you would watch on the first day of a job or something.
Yes. Buying on margin means this. Buying short means this.
Yeah.
What's interesting about the margin call thing, though, is that was for the Great Depression what subprime lending and the credit default swaps were in the Great Recession in 2008. So margin calls and stuff like that is if you've borrowed money from the brokerage firm in order to buy further stocks, if your stocks go down, you have to pay the difference. That's what margin calls are.
So you would borrow money from the brokerage firm? That's almost like loan sharking, isn't it?
Oh, it totally is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It sounds like somebody's going to come and break your knees if you don't pay it up.
Yeah. I mean, it came out of, in the 20s, that there was just money to burn. Everyone who was investing in the stock market at the time, you would have $10,000 in there in all the stock. And it's going up and up and up, and it's never going to crash. There's no bubble or anything. This is what they're telling themselves. So then they start, you have to keep a certain amount of liquidity, and they would just, the brokerage firms would just be like, 10 to 1. You can, for every $1 you have in our firm, you could take $10 more out and invest in further things. And to make this a little interesting and put some human perspective, Groucho Marx did that. And it was like getting to the point that it was like 100 to 1 and stuff like that. And then when the market crashed, Groucho lost all of his money. And it's part of the reason that the Marx Brothers started making movies.
They had to.
Yeah.
Wow. I did not know that.
But that's just sort of crazy that it's very similar to what you just said about the most recent recession that we had, which was all in real estate that they were doing the loan sharking, because there were people who were borrowing on homes that weren't worth anything.
Right.
And this is very similar, where they would almost encourage you, here, we'll lend you money to buy more stock. And then no one thought, what happens if the stock goes belly up? Then you're all fucked.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened in 29, and that's that's why it's such a strange process, or that they would keep it around ever. They put laws that you had to keep a certain amount of money in there. The margin call still existed of borrowing on what you were investing, but yeah, it's just the dumbest thing. Why would you ever do that?
It's gambling. It's essentially gambling. Yep.
So.
Except with gambling, you can sort of walk away if you want to. I don't know how if people really walk away, especially if they keep on enticing you to keep your money there.
Right. Yeah. It's like you have this one. Yeah. It's like a little devil on your shoulder. Keep going. Keep going.
I did enjoy the computer on Dan's desk in the scene, which looked as though it was like a Commodore 64.
Yeah.
Yep. It was great.
Like
very
you could play
large
Hangman on
monitor.
there. You could play Pong on there.
Yep.
Wow.
And there is something in this scene when Elise and Steven show up, and Alex is panicky because VIP has crashed, and there's this repeat of him going. But there is a moment where Alex leaps over a desk to slam the door, and that kind of becomes a very big staple for Michael J. Fox in his sitcom career. He's a very physical actor, and it's almost like in the last episode with Uncle Ned, Tom Hanks kind of doing this great jump. And Paul and I had actually talked about it. It's like, I wonder if that's something he picked up from Tom Hanks, because that physicality that Michael J. Fox has is kind of a classic staple of his.
It was a really funny moment when he walked from desk to desk to desk to get to the door to head off Stephen and Elise. I thought, wow, that's a lot of physical comedy, and that's good. You can always add, especially if the script doesn't have that many jokes in it like this one did. You can always boost it up a little bit with some physical comedy, and I thought that was really good.
Definitely. And then also a really great take from Stephen and Elise, because they have the door slammed in their face, and then he opens it a few seconds later being like, all right, I'm going to have to face the music on this one, and Stephen and Elise are still standing there in the same position. It's just a nice little, acting choice by them.
I also thought that for a Dayton, Ohio brokerage firm, that place was happening. There were extras going in and out and rolling around and hanging out, and my God, that's Dayton, Ohio brokerage firm.
Yeah, the sperm and egg that were Margot Robbie were doing cocaine.
Yep. I think if we really saw way back in the offices, we would have seen something like that. That's what my feeling was.
Yeah.
I know it's wrong of me, but all I can think of is watching Margot Robbie now.
It's not a bad thing to be thinking of.
Let's take a break and, listen to the commercial that Barbara and Bryant and Sam are going to do. But also take a few seconds, hit pause, and maybe go check out Margot Robbie.
Think about Margot Robbie. Yeah.
Yep.
We'll be right back. And we're back.
Wow.
Has Margot Robbie followed us yet?
No, she's still with me.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh God, I'm sorry. I fell asleep. I had a nap. I just had a quick. I was just, I am wiped out.
So. Are you guys familiar with the actor who played Dan, the brokerage guy?
No,
he looked a little familiar.
He was really a big sitcom actor, and then he became one of the biggest sitcom directors in the business. His list of credits include According to Jim, Suddenly Susan. He did about 24, 25 episodes of Frasier. He did a bunch of Roseannes, and the show that he got his start on, I mean, this is when he was still doing guest stars, was a Showtime show called Brothers. Do you remember about a group of brothers who owned a bar, and one of the brothers was gay?
Right.
He was the gay brother.
Okay.
And
that's so
he
interesting.
was a regular on that show, and he morphed that into becoming the regular director on the show. Before that show maybe ran 4 or 5 years on Showtime, and before it was over, he was like the resident director as well as being the lead actor on the show.
Wow.
And you'll find that a lot, too, with TV actors, that, if they're on a show for a long time, they usually start to parlay that into producer credits or directing episodes or stuff like that.
Yeah, it's
and
a smart transition.
The reason why they do the producer credit, that to me is the one that it's like, okay, that makes sense. Because if you're not a producer, you can't sit in on writers' meetings. If you're a producer, you could sit in. So if you're worried about where your character is going, even if you don't want to have another thing to do, at the very least you can go and pitch your ideas to the producers and they'll listen to you.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So Alex is naturally panicky about this money he has to meet before the margin call the next day. And Jennifer, they're at the kitchen again. Jennifer has told Mallory what's going on. And so Mallory comes in and kind of holds it over Alex's head a little bit. But she actually has something of a solution of just, hey, you really should go and tell Mom and Dad that, you're in too deep.
Just be honest and say you're sorry.
Say you're sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You're really, really sorry. And so again, it's like I keep going back to, man, this would be way more interesting if the roles were reversed. If Jennifer, you just give that little part to Jennifer, have the cute little kid with the words of wisdom, and that's it. And then you would have a great dynamic with Mallory and Alex. So they go. So Alex decides to go back down to the brokerage house and try to explain to the broker what's going on and what needs to be done and everything. And Jennifer is dressed. We bring back the Little House on the Prairie sister
yes,
dress.
Yes, we do. Jennifer's wearing her Little House reject costume.
We couldn't go too far away from it.
Nope.
Yeah.
They bought all of it at the very pilot. They got to use it.
They have to get it out there. Wow. I was just like, I thought we were past this, but apparently nope, we're bringing it back.
Mm-hmm. Just when I thought I was in Oregon, they pulled me back to Fort Laramie. It's got a lot of levels to that joke. It's,
that really was. The commentary you had in that, and that just came right off the top of your head, Paul.
Yeah, we're gonna put an asterisk next to that joke, and I'll do a behind the scenes later. We'll
discuss it.
Maybe for the behind the scenes video, you can get Margot Robbie to co.
I just dropped my pen.
So they try to appeal to a sense of reason with this broker, and we discover that this guy's just a total evil asshole.
Now, how we discover that, of course, is the fact that this little old lady comes in and complains about not having enough money to cover herself, and he's very, very stern with her. No, that's your problem. I'm sorry if you're broke, Mom.
Oh, he's that evil.
Oh, he's going to treat his mom like that, Alex P. Keaton. You're pretty screwed, aren't you?
That's right.
De facto, Alex.
Good luck.
And the woman playing the actress, I don't know her name, but she also
spent a ton.
Yeah, she looks the same age as she does in like 14 years later when they do Mrs. Doubtfire. She's like the social worker or whatever.
She's a wonderful actress, a wonderful character actress who lived a very long life, and I think she worked most of her life between the ages of 60 and 90. She was nonstop work.
Yeah.
Great older character actress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was really good at going from like the sweet, innocent old lady to like the very stern, like school marm kind of character. Yeah, she was fantastic.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how that scene is with that joke. And we Alex and Jennifer just know it's like we're not going to get any leniency from this guy. And they go home, and it's time for Alex to face the music with Stephen and Elise.
Because I mean, we're about 20 minutes in, so it's time for Alex to face the music.
That's it. Yeah. What happens at 20 minutes? Alex faces the music.
Yeah.
Because you got 2 more minutes to wrap it up.
Before he faced the music, he had to get the analogy of the chapel that Elise is designing as seen through the eyes of the Hollywood squares.
Yeah, because that was the only way Mallory was going to understand it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't even know any of the names of the people that she was referencing. Were those famous names?
I didn't know what it means.
Unfortunately, I do, because I used to watch the Hollywood Squares when I was a kid. But yeah, Charlie Weaver is actually the actor Cliff Arquette, who is Oscar winner Patricia Arquette's grandfather.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And Courtney Cox Arquette's grandfather-in-law, David Arquette's grandfather.
Okay.
So, and then she referenced Rosemarie, was the other one who was on Dick Van Dyke Show, still alive, by the way, in her early 90s.
Oh, wow.
And she referenced, who was the other one that she referenced? Was it Paul Lynde? Was that the other regular?
She didn't. That's what I was so shocked about. I was like, that's the only person I know who was on the old Hollywood
It was Charlie
Squares.
and Rosemarie were regulars. There was maybe a third one, but it was weird, and it seemed very synergistic because the show ran on NBC.
Oh.
Hollywood Squares was a daytime show on NBC, and then by that time it was probably in first-run syndication, stripped at like 7 o'clock at night, but also on NBC stations.
Interesting. See, all right. This
synergy.
Show is so this episode is really, you're getting the nuts and bolts of how this series works. It's a lot of crap. It's a lot of bullshit.
It feels like it was designed just to kind of really accentuate the character of Alex B. Keaton even more. Like, this is an episode designed to showcase Alex. It doesn't do it well at all.
Much like how I feel right now. I feel like the team, the production team, after the party that was Tom Hanks, you know, they had 2 weeks of Tom Hanks, and then they're like, well, I guess we'll talk about Wall Street. Does someone have a script?
Yeah. It was like, okay, they need an Alex episode. What would Alex be into?
Over.
Yeah.
They are Tom Hanks over.
I think that they were really going for the Alex's love of money. Some explanation for how do we explain why Alex loves money, or the thrill of the chase for him, of making money, earning money, turning $500 into $10,000, and what a rush that is for him, like a gambler.
You know what? That's a really good point, Corey. Also, the fact that they're giving him like superpowers now, whereas in the first like 15 episodes, it was all about how hard he worked. Like Alex, he wouldn't accept a bad grade because he'd argue with the teacher. You know, it was stuff like that. Now we're seeing that he actually possesses. Right. Now he has these like talents that are like preternatural, where, you know, he walks into a brokerage firm and tells them how to fix a computer and how to invest better.
Yeah.
So
he was like Foxy with that computer. He's like, boom, hey, there you got it.
No.
Yeah.
So Alex is forced to confess in this scene to his father.
And Elise. I think they're both in the room. They do the Hollywood Squares analogy, and then Alex and Jennifer come back in and basically say, we got something to confess to you. He's basically says, you know that AT&T stock you had, I used as leverage, and now we got to meet the margin call, 2,700, and Steven, you know, the ongoing joke of the Steven says that, and is
also this is one of the first times that we see an obvious leaving the room. Big thing on Family Ties that we'll see, I think, further along is that at the end of the episode, when lessons need to be learned and apologies need to be made, everyone's just like, I think that the house is on fire. I'm going to go in the other room. And then they're you know, and this is the first time that we get one where there's no imagination. Like, once again, they just did not give a fuck, and they were like, well, Alex is going to talk, so we're going to go.
And speaking of not giving a fuck, the ending is just, like, there's no ending to this. It's just basically they're running off, and we're going to go pay the margin, and I'm mad. That's it.
I was stunned when the graphic came up for the end of the show. I was like, did I miss something? Did I doze off? How did this happen?
Yeah, I was like, that's the line you're ending on? Like, there's no joke ending. It's just, I'm going to go pay the bill now. Thanks a lot, Alex. Boom.
It was the weirdest thing. It was almost like a to be continued.
After Alex was grounded for 6 months, too.
Oh, yeah, and let's say that it's probably like March, you know, based on when the Christmas episode happened and, you know, further episodes after. He'll be grounded into September, like when he goes to college. How's that going to work?
Right.
Yeah. I almost prefer them ending with zooming in on a business card than this ending.
Yeah.
That would have been a lot better.
He apologizes, and then all of a sudden he's like, but, once you pay and you get everything in order, if it starts to make money, if VIP makes money, let's split it 50-50. And then it's like, what? Credit. And it's just like, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, it's just as shitty an ending as how the Great Recession panned out. Like the TARP and, Wall Street wins. And then they come after you and say, actually, we need more money from you.
Yeah. Thanks for what you gave us, but can we have some more?
Yeah, we fucked everything up, but we need more of your money, and we're not going to apologize.
Yeah, because we want to continue fucking things up.
Right. So, yeah. That's the episode.
That's the episode. And did you notice how much of this episode is over the phone? There are so many phone calls in this episode. Like, half of it is our phone call conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I miss Tom Hanks. I really miss him. I miss him.
I miss his smiles. I miss his hugs.
His charm. Oh, Uncle Ned, come back. Come back soon. Well, everyone, be sure to rate and review our show on iTunes. And for questions and comments, email us at qualitytimewithfamilyties@gmail.com. And you can follow us on Twitter at QTWFT for all updates. And all of us are on Twitter, too, as well. I'm at Follow Jones.
I'm at Paul Packler.
And I'm at Corpep.
And be sure to like our Facebook page. We'd like to thank our host and producer, Barbara Dillon at Fanboy Comics. Fanboy Comics is an online conglomerate of geek media, providing its readers with daily reviews, interviews, and podcasts that span the pop culture spectrum. Check them out at fanboycomics.net. We also like to thank Perry Adams, who beautifully performs the Family Ties theme song Without Us. Be sure to check out Perry's music and dates at perryadams.com. Also, Brian Dillon, who created our fantastic drawing and artwork, as well as edits our show. Brian is the president and co-founder of Fanboy Comics. Follow him at Comic Book Slayer. And also Sean Foster at Fanboy Comics graphic designer for designing our logo. Thanks, everyone, for listening, and we will see you next week. Bye!
Ooh la la! It's going to be so much fun!
And...